The regular meeting for the Aurora City Council is called to order for Monday, February 9th, 2026. Would the clerk please read the roll?
Mayor Kaufman.
Here.
Councilmember Andrews. Councilmember Bergen. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Coombs.
Present.
Councilmember Gardner.
Here.
Councilmember Hancock.
Here.
Councilmember Horton.
Here.
Councilmember Jackson.
Here.
Councilmember Lawson.
Here.
Councilmember Medina.
Here.
And Councilmember Wiles.
Here.
There's a quorum.
Please join me in an invocation. O Lord, our God and our Father, we come to you and we ask that you look upon this particular gathering tonight to keep us safe and guide us in our decisions. Bless our city with honorable citizens, industry, sound education, and good government. Unite our community together even though we come from different backgrounds. We pray that there be justice and peace in our city. Give the city council and citizens the wisdom, direction, and sensitivity to the business and proceedings before us tonight. Hear us, therefore, as we commit this meeting to the help of our community. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Land acknowledgement. The City of Aurora acknowledges that we gather on the territories and ancestral homelands of the Cheyenne, Ute, Arapaho, and Lakota peoples, past and present. We also recognize the 48 contemporary tribal nations that are historically tied to the lands that make up the state of Colorado. Indigenous peoples have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties that these nations have to their traditional homelands and to their vital place in the ecosystem are renewed and reaffirmed. And we are called to be better stewards of the land we inhabit as we continue to work to meet the needs of our entire community. Executive session update. During the executive session, we discussed economic development proposal and what was the other one?
Real estate acquisition.
And real estate acquisition. Motion is in order for the adoption of the minutes
Mayor,
from January 26, 2026. Mayor Pro Tem.
so moved.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem and seconded by
Bergen.
Councilmember Bergen. Discussion.
Mayor Kaufman.
Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the minutes.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Hancock.
Yes.
Councilmember Horton.
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson. Yes. Councilmember Lawson.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Motion is in order for the adoption of the agenda.
Mayor,
Mayor Pro Tem.
so moved.
Been moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by?
Mayor, second.
Seconded by Councilmember Lawson to adopt the agenda. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the agenda.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Hancock.
Yes.
Councilmember Horton.
Yes.
And Councilmember Jackson. The motion passes unanimously.
Public invited to be heard.
Yes, there are members of the public who want to speak. First, we have Pam Jeffords, followed by Jerry Jurenski.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts and speak with you all today. My name is Pam Jeffords, and I'm a Aurora resident, small business owner, and the chair of the local American Heart Association. But today I'm here to talk about a parent and a grandparent. Like so many parents, I did my best to keep my 4 children healthy and safe when they were kids. But the truth is a parent can't do it alone. And what kids see, what's sold near their schools, and how easy it is to get addictive products that can harm their hearts even before they become of age, all of that matters. That's why a local tobacco retail license is so important. In Colorado, a tobacco retail license doesn't just apply to traditional cigarettes. It also covers your e-cigarettes, vaping devices, nicotine pouches, and other nicotine products, whether or not they contain the tobacco leaf. According to the American Heart Association, nearly 90% of people who use tobacco products do so before the age of 18. And today, tobacco isn't just cigarettes. Nicotine products, including the vapes and pouches, deliver chemicals that raise blood pressure, increase heart rate, and damage blood vessels, putting kids on a path towards heart disease and stroke much earlier in life. A local tobacco retail license, which allows Aurora to enforce local, state, and federal laws, gives our community the information and power to act. It will allow us to track where nicotine and tobacco are sold, limit the sales near schools, and hold retailers accountable when they sell to kids under 21. Communities with strong retail licensing policies see fewer illegal sales and lower youth nicotine use. This policy is not about blaming parents, and it isn't about hurting responsible businesses. It's about protecting those kids and their hearts before they're damaged for life. The American Heart Association's mission is to help people live longer, healthier lives, and this is exactly the kind of prevention that makes that mission real. I want our Aurora children to grow up with strong hearts and real choices. A local tobacco retail license helps make that possible. I want to thank you all in the City Council for taking up this important policy and urge its swift passage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
We don't do questions, but thank you very much for your testimony.
Next, we have Jerry Jurinsky, followed by Danielle Jurinsky.
What is the promise of a city council? The differences between this council and the previous council are noticeable and striking. The previous council promised to bring safety, security, and prosperity to Aurora citizens and businesses. Working with police, passing anti-crime resolutions, criminals and gangs, especially Tren de Aragua, were removed. Crime declined in every category. Citizens were safer, businesses grew. This socialist council promised an agenda. Police are racist. There needs to be a police review board. The police chief should be replaced. Over time, we will look at the new members of the council. Tonight, let's take a look at two of them. Giannina Horton, within days of coming onto the council, proposed a group to observe ICE, follow, record, and intimidate agents from finding, arresting, and deporting criminals. Clearly, Horton cares more about protecting criminals and gangs and less about protecting Aurora citizens. Rob Andrews, a real piece of work, said he would bring decorum to the council. Instead, he has brought ridicule and dishonor to the council and himself. 1 month into a 4-year term, Andrews was stopped by police for driving erratically. When asked for his driver's license, he instead produced his council badge, no doubt wanting the officer to know he was dealing with an important person. Right. When arrested for DUI, did Andrews show remorse? His only concern was that his arrest might go public. It went public, because one thing the left-friendly media will not tolerate is the sanctimonious hypocrisy from someone they supported. Andrews has said he will not resign from the council, but Mayor Pro Tem Coombs can remove him as chair of the Public Safety Committee, but won't do it. To have Andrews as the face of public safety is a disgrace, and Coombs has shown she will tolerate disgrace. Aurora, this socialist majority is the new council.
Danielle Jurinsky, followed by Tanya Tabachek.
All right. Well, I got all these pages here tonight for Mr. Rob Andrews, who isn't here tonight. What a bummer. But I doubt that those who come to the council meetings and ridiculed those of you who missed the last council meeting will have anything to say about that. Jason, the first thing I want to say is to you. You are the city manager. Everything begins and ends with you. You do not have to do anything that this council asks you to do, whether there's 6 votes or not. You do not have to. And what I would say to you, sir, is force them to fire you, because I know that there's not 6 votes on this council to fire you. Todd Chamberlain is a fantastic police chief, and I want to emphasize fantastic police chief. When I left this council, crime rates were down 26%. You know that. I was the chair of the Public Safety Committee. We'll see where that goes now. Our current Public Safety Committee chair didn't even show up tonight. All of these pages, and I guess since he's not here tonight, I'll just go ahead and turn him over to the media and further embarrass this man. But he was voted in to be in charge of what completes $1 billion budget. This is all public, by the way, Mayor, while you're asking your questions. This is all sourced. There's sources with all of this. This is all public information, so it's freedom of speech. Multiple bankruptcies, not paying his child support, not paying for his child's schooling, currently has multiple court cases against him, not just a DUI. I attended one of them the other day and he got the floor mopped with him. He is facing jail time for multiple things. I don't know if those of you who supported him even knew about any of this, but it looks like your colleague is headed to jail. Not sure if you know that or not. His ex-wife, Demetria Martinez, fabulous woman, by the way. She sure has a lot to say, and I expect her to show up at some point. She's currently going for full custody. But again, I will just go ahead and turn all of this over that I was able to put together. I'll just go ahead and turn it over to the media. Stephanie and Francoise, you guys are warriors. You know you're warriors. You guys have at times been used as pawns, and you guys both know that. Stand strong. This too shall pass. They will not win. Whatever they have to say to you, you guys know better.
Tanya Tabachek, followed by Anna Harris.
Let me just say that Councilmember Andrews is online and thereby is present.
Sure did.
Tanya Tabachek. Anna Harris.
I'm so happy.
Valerie Novi. Javier Gurola Vargas. Oh, are you Anna? Okay, Anna Harris, followed by Valerie Novi.
Hi, my name is Anna Harris, and I was Corey Dillard's partner. After Corey Dillard was killed by APD, I printed the Aurora Police Department Directives Manual. Over 1,000 pages. I read it page by page because I wanted to understand the rules that are supposed to protect the people of this city. I read the mission statement, partnering with our community to make Aurora safer every day. I read the oath to defend and protect lives, safety, and property of people of Aurora. I read the code of ethics to safeguard lives and property, to respect the constitutional rights of all, never employing unnecessary force, being accountable to our department and community. These are not my words, they are yours, and I believed them. Then I kept reading, and as I compared to what happened in Corey's case to the written directives that govern officer conduct, I began marking violations. 1, 2, 3. By the time I finished, I'd identified 11 directives that were broken before Corey lost his life, several before the officers even exited their vehicle. 11, not suggestions, directives, written standards. And I was optimistic, and I believed that if 11 directives were violated, justice would follow, because that is how accountability works in every profession that deals with life and death. So I met with District Attorney Brian Mason and named them, all 11. He acknowledged the directives, and then he says he upholds the laws, not directives, and there would be no trial. And that was the moment something became clear to me. If safeguarding life is a fundamental duty, if unnecessary force is prohibited, if accountability is a stated value, but 11 broken directives and 4 broken laws do not result in trial, then what do those words really mean? What was the purpose of a 1,000-page manual if breaking it changes nothing? If an airline violated 11 safety protocols and a plane crashed, we would call it negligence and there would be consequences. If a hospital ignored 11 safety protocols and a patient died, we would call it failure and there would be consequences. But in policing, we are told it is not enough. Accountability is not radical. It is required when your job includes the power to take a life. Standards do, and standards only matter when they are enforced. So I need to ask something plainly. What number of broken directives triggers real consequence? 1, 5, 10? Because in this case, 11 did not. If 11 broken directives do not trigger consequence, then the threshold is either unclear or non-existent. And in a profession that carries the power to take a life, this is unacceptable. Define it, enforce it, because lives depend on it. Thank you.
Tanya Tabachek, followed by Valerie Novi.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I just wanted to first say that I did watch the Saturday's winter workshop and wanted to share a few brief comments. I appreciated the icebreaker and found it helpful regarding the rules, helpful. Regarding the Rules Committee, I hope additional voices can be included in future discussions so the full community is representative. Although I'm not a council member, I would have liked to be part of that. I believe updating the rules could improve dialogue between the council and the public. I also have a question about the 8A related remodel of the council chambers. During the construction period, will meetings be held in person, and if so, at what location, or will they be virtual? Additionally, I encourage the council to reconsider reinstating the call-in option for those unable to attend, and every voice deserves an opportunity to speak. Thank you all for listening.
Valerie Novi, followed by Javier Gurola Vargas. Javier Gurola Vargas, followed by Ali DeWills Marcano.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Javier Vargas, and I go to Raintree High School in the Aurora Public Schools District. I'm speaking today in support of the proposal to establish the tobacco, kratom, and age-restricted hemp product license. This proposal matters because it would significantly reduce underage access to harmful substances like tobacco, drugs, and other psychoactive substances through the newly required local licensure and compliance checks for retailers. I would like to share why this issue is personal. Growing up, my father struggled with an addiction to tobacco products, and I have vivid memories of how much time and money that addiction would consume. But most concerning of all, tobacco was always within reach of me as a child. While I am grateful that I have never smoked tobacco or nicotine, the case might not be the same for everyone my age. When children are exposed to these substances early, the risk of addiction increases. Then, if a minor can easily walk into a store, purchase a vape without proper age verification, and walk out in a matter of minutes, we are failing them. This minor will likely expose their fellow peers to these substances as well, which forms a chain reaction that compromises the future of our youth and society. Vapes are a prominent issue at Rangeview High School, and I frequently see students vaping in the restrooms or outside the school, and I always hear the smoke detector going off. I have had many opportunities to vape myself, but I have chosen not to. But not everyone puts down that offer, albeit out of curiosity or peer pressure. Nicotine is a highly addictive chemical, and it is a threat to our youth. Please consider how much the rates of vape consumption in minors would significantly decrease if only there were stronger protocols put in place that would require stores to better verify the ages of customers. Retailer accountability can make a real difference. Underage access to these products would significantly decrease if stores were required to more stringently verify consumer ages. Protecting young people requires action at every level, and that includes responsible retail practices. Establishing the tobacco, kratom, and age-restricted hemp product license is a meaningful step toward protecting the health and well-being of Aurora's youth, and it paves the way to a better future for them, free of addiction. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Allie DeWills Marcano, followed by Dayton Romero.
Good evening, Council. My name is Allie. I'm a resident of Ward 4, and as always, my testimony does not reflect any family, organization, podcast, or mysterious coven I may or may not belong to. First, I want to thank Council for approving funding to update the plans for making these chambers accessible. Plans that were delayed after the plans before them were delayed, after earlier plans became outdated, after amendments were required because the room was built inaccessibly in 2003 and fell out of compliance as early as 2010. I am genuinely glad that you chose to move forward with another plan, but I do want to be clear. A new plan alone is not progress. We have paid for plans many times before, and too often they have functioned as delay, nothing more. We are now waiting until at least summer to even discuss the possibility of a budget for a ramp, and some of your colleagues are already laying the groundwork to oppose spending beyond the $100,000 approved for updated drawings. I will ask plainly, how many times have we spent similar sums on plans that ultimately resulted in nothing? At the same time, the city has hired consultants to develop a citywide ADA transition plan, which is important work. I want every broken curb cut fixed, every flooded sidewalk addressed, every blocked ramp enforced. But I was alarmed to hear City Manager Batchelor say that the required public hearings for this plan may be folded into regular city council meetings. Regular city council meetings are held here, in these chambers, which the city's own consultants have already identified as inaccessible. To be explicit, that would mean that disabled residents are structurally excluded from the public hearing about their own exclusion. The disability rights movement and many other movements for liberation have a long-standing principle: nothing about us without us. Decisions affecting disabled people must include disabled people in the process. You cannot hold accessibility hearings in a room that excludes the very people those hearings are meant to serve. And the fact that no one in a 7-hour budget workshop caught this contradiction is exactly why disabled people must be directly involved, early, meaningfully, and visibly in this process. I'm asking Council to closely monitor this planning effort, hold staff and consultants accountable for delivering a usable plan quickly. And when that plan comes forward, be prepared to defend it when budget objections resurface yet again. If construction requires meetings to relocate for a few months, move them to the Aurora Library meeting room. I'm excited to report that it is fully 100% accessible. Even the back entrance, the mayor has confirmed this. The schedule, the building, and the budget are reflections of our values, and those values should include ensuring everyone can access the chambers of their government. With election timelines and an 8-month construction window, you do not have the luxury of delay. Trust me, I understand the power of being really, really, really annoying. I believe in you. You can do it too. Keep it moving, even if that means being annoying. And one final note, these meetings are recorded for Aurora TV. You are all on hot mics, so everything that is said while I am slowly descending that awful elevator is broadcast publicly. Just an FYI, you might want to be mindful of that. See you next time.
Dayton Romero, followed by Median Schaffner. Median Schaffner, followed by Hashim Coates.
It has been 163 days since I witnessed the execution of Rajon Belt Stubblefield. I watched Officer Matthew Neely bait him into his own execution. And I was not just there conceptually. I watched the flesh leave his body after he was shot. I have not been asked to come and be of witness in the CIRT process. And it is disheartening because this is now the 5th time I've come to council to advise you of such. So under the leadership and watch of each and every one of you, you have heard someone who was an eyewitness to this investigation that has not been solicited for witness testimony. Having your Arapahoe Sheriff individuals on scene, crossing the crime tape, and approaching me as there is a very passionate crowd right behind me does not warrant a logical way to get witness testimony. I had to make the difficult decision to de-escalate a situation that was very heightened and simply instructed the officers that I would not be giving statement that evening. But I can assure you that somebody has my contact information because the next day at Rajon's vigil, I got a phone call from someone of the Aurora Police asking me to do crowd control. I vehemently declined because that is not my responsibility, but it assured me that they have my contact information, yet they have not asked me to be of witness to what I saw. So that either is a problem with your ego, a problem with control, or a problem with competence. Either one of those do not belong in safety, because safety should be about care and not control. And I just want to put each of you on notice that just because you don't see Rajon's family here doesn't mean they're not paying attention. That movement is moving. Y'all finna see.
Hashim Coates, followed by Kiowa Lewis.
June 9th, 2025, the Arapahoe County District Court issued a binding order directing the Aurora Police Department to release the unedited body-worn footage of the killing, murder of Kylan Lewis in Multimedia Holdings Corporation, KUSA 9 News versus Catherine Miller. The court made something unmistakably clear, that transparency is not optional, it's a legal obligation. When a court must intervene to compel the police to release footage in a factual encounter, that alone raises serious concerns. The community should not have to rely on litigation to access information about the use of lethal force. Todd Chamberlain asked, how does the police build trust? It's built through accountability. A court order is not a suggestion, it's not a recommendation, it's a binding directive issued under judicial authority. Failure to comply isn't a procedural disagreement, it's a violation of the rule of law. And that constitutes contempt of court, and it undermines the constitutional separations of power, the government that governs our system. Kind of sounds like ICE. Unless a stay has been granted, compliance is required. Now let's chat about responsibility. The order names the records of custodians in her official capacity, but the obligation does not rest on one individual alone. It extends to the Aurora Police Department and the city of Aurora itself. The police chief, Todd Chamberlain, is responsible for directing departmental compliance. The city manager, Jason Batchelor, oversees the department. The city attorney, Pete Schulte, advises on legal obligations, and the council provides oversight of the city manager. Of those named, who can be fired? Who can have their post-certification revoked? Or have a grievance filed against their bar license? If there is willful refusal to comply, accountability follows a certain chain of command, and that follows a certain chain of responsibility. Anything less damages public trust and calls into question the city's commitment to constitutional governance. If the city expects the community to respect the law, then the city must demonstrate that it respects the law first. You heard someone today issue a directive basically of insubordination. The people voted you all in. You must lead by example to hold the law enforcers accountable to the directive of law. If not, hypocrisy will be there.
Kiowa Lewis, followed by Veronica Sebron.
Could you please just finish up my time? You know, I sit here and I look at everybody and I hear everybody, and the common thing that I see amongst a lot of people is we get up here, not we, the head honcho gets up here and says this prayer. That's so privileged. The thing is, I've never seen so many demonic people. You had Jerinsky and his minion, right? And it's just like, these things happen for a reason why they're no longer here. As we sit here and we battle against not just flesh and blood, but as a spiritual warfare is happening, I will tell y'all, a lot of y'all are going to die and y'all are going to perish for the lack of following the Creator like you need to. And that's not a threat from me. That's a promise from the Most High, right? So I see that that minion, she came up here with her dad, said what she had to say. The thing that we don't do is we don't judge anybody. We let one judge happen, and that's from our Creator, right? He deals with all of us in a way that we're not ready for. That day is going to come. You look at everything that's happening that doesn't get mentioned over here in the United States, but if you line it up with prophecy, it's happening. Everything is happening. So instead of y'all not really doing what's right, because y'all are held to a accountability level like no other, y'all are going to be judged harsher than we are. Y'all going to be next to pastors because y'all are supposed to be leaders in this country. So I just want y'all to know As we navigate things, we stand on truth. We don't stand on hate at all for those who follow your Creator. Stop reading and being a Joel Osteen or a Tyler Perry or a T.D. Jakes. Work on your relationship with the Most High, because it's going to happen. Like I told y'all when all this happened, that the elect will judge you all accordingly. And for the most part, we'll even judge angels. And it tells us this in the scripture. If y'all don't get it right, I'll be your judge. Y'all might be judged here on earth, but I'll be your judge in heaven. So I want y'all to know that. So I want y'all to say his name, Kylan Lewis. Kylan Lewis is who we hear. Rashad, Jalen, Brandon, which was my best friend that was murdered.
Veronica Sebron, followed by Cassandra Heil.
My name is Veronica Sebron, and I stand before you today for many of reasons. I've stood here before, and the word that I will use to describe those reasons is solidarity. I will remind you what solidarity is. It is unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with common interests, mutual support within a group. I'm here with a common interest and common feelings of families that I stand and I support. Not only are we asking for accountability, but as you take these other past cases of accountability, we need proactive measures to go against our families being lost. We don't need ICE coming in masked. That causes escalation. A lot of our families would be here today if we had de-escalation. A mask will cause so much more rage, irate, and that is the last thing that we need as a commonality for the public. The public safety should be number one thing in your guys' mind. Don't wait till you share this commonality. Don't wait till you can share this feeling. Share it now while you have an opinion and you have a choice. I stand here today. My son was killed a year ago today, but I will come out of my house to make sure that we hit each and every one, each and every seat, to know that we stand as families together, and we will stand with the public and make sure to ensure the public safety of our children and our family, our cousins, our nephews, and our nieces. Don't wait until you're in this seat and you have to fight and you have to have a voice. You have a voice now. Use the seat that you are in while it's warm. Don't wait till it's a cold seat and your job is at risk. Do something now before you have something to have to reconcile. Be productive, be proactive, stand together, and let's have de-escalation for our public.
Cassandra Heil, followed by Aonte Anderson.
Good evening, Aurora City Council. My name is Cassandra Heil, and I am representing the Denver Aurora Community Action Committee, otherwise known as DACAG. I come before you tonight with a question born of deep frustration and grief. I attended the so-called independent oversight meetings to discuss the brutal reality of police violence in our cities. And what did I hear? Talk of building bridges, of making things a two-way street. Let's be clear. The police murder the community. When we are gathered to stop the violence against us, why is this discussion centered around the feelings and needs of the perpetrators? This process feels like a cruel charade. It is not independent oversight. Let's call it for what it is, controlled opposition. It's a way for you to pretend to listen while carefully ensuring we never get the power the community control that we are demanding. Inviting cops to a meeting about the violent cop problem isn't oversight. It's letting the fox design the henhouse. And it shows how little you think of us. Your inaction speaks loudest when it comes to the man you allow to lead the department under a federal consent decree for racism, Police Chief Todd Chamberlain. His record isn't a secret. It's a legal document. Before coming here, he was a commanding officer in the notoriously racist LAPD during the Rodney King beatings and riots. He was sued and lost a discrimination case for allowing the racial harassment of a black officer, costing the city $1.2 million. He was eventually transferred out of his post for extensive racial and sexual harassment. He even stood before the community and made a vile, racist comment about not wanting his officers drinking watermelon Slurpees. This isn't an allegation. He has been found legally responsible for fostering racism. For a department ordered by the federal government to stop being racist, hiring him wasn't a mistake. It was an insult. It's disgusting. And you have the power to end it. You have the power to instruct the city manager to fire Todd Chamberlain, and if he doesn't, fire him. That's right. That's it. It's a direct, simple action. Yet you don't. You stand on the sidelines while we come here meeting after meeting and beg you to stop the violence in our neighborhoods. You stand by while people are murdered without justice. You know you can enact change, but you chose to manage a crisis instead of ending it. We do not need more controlled meetings. We need you to use your power. Fire Todd Chamberlain, and then give us real community control of the police through a CPAC initiative. Our lives depend on it. Justice for Corey Dillard, justice for Kylan Lewis, justice for Rayjon Belt Stubblefield and Rashad Johnson, justice for Elijah McLean, Jordell Richardson, and all victims of Aurora's police brutality.
Deontay Anderson, followed by Tracy Guilford.
For everyone to whom much was given, from him much will be required. Luke 12, verse 48. 2 weeks ago, several members of this council chose not to attend a duly noted public meeting, not because they were sick, not because of an emergency, not because they were physically unable to participate. They simply did not show up. No notice, no explanation, no respect for their constituents watching. Let's be clear, boycotting governance is not leadership. It is not principled, and it is not courageous. It is absence, and absence matters. When elected officials don't show up, the message sent to the public is that participation is optional for those with power, even though it is mandatory for everyone else. So yes, let the record reflect that I today support Mayor Kaufman's decision to mark those absences moving forward as unexcused. This may be the only issue where the mayor and I ever agree, and that is okay. Because this moment is bigger than personalities or politics. This is about duty. The people of Aurora don't get to boycott responsibility. They don't get to protest their rent, because if you miss a payment, the notice comes. You miss another, you're evicted. No explanation required. They don't get to skip over their work obligations without consequences. Miss a shift, the check is lighter. Miss too many, that's no call, no show, and your job is gone. They don't get to go to school and miss school, court dates, probation check-ins, or immigration hearings and expect grace from the system. For regular people, absence has consequences. Silence is not accepted as an excuse. Public office should not be the only place where that rule suddenly disappears. Democracy does not work by disappearing. It works by showing up, by sitting in a seat that you asked for. By doing this work in the public, even when it is uncomfortable. Luke 12:48 is not a metaphor, it is a warning. Power is not a badge, it is a burden, and when you carry it, you do not get to put it down when it gets heavy. So yes, mark the record, Mayor Kaufman, name the absence, and make it clear to everyone watching that leadership in Aurora is not optional, part-time, or conditional. Because the people are always present, the bills are always due, and the government that they elected should be too.
Tracy Guilford, followed by James Coleman. Tracy Guilford, followed by James Coleman.
So good evening, Mayor Kaufman and Aurora City Council members. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to share with you this evening why I support the Tobacco Retail Licensing Plus ordinance. My name is Tracy Guilford, and I have been an Aurora community member for the past 16 plus years, and I stand before you this evening on behalf of my precious grandchildren, Liliana, who's 8 years old, and Charles IV, who is 4. They are also Aurora community members. I'm asking that you support the Tobacco Retail Licensing Plus ordinance to help protect them, their futures, and that of their peers. Accountability, I've heard that quite a bit this evening, is the word that continuously resonates with me when I consider this TRL Plus ordinance. Accountability is something we desperately need more of, especially in the days and times in which we find ourselves living. To learn that approximately 85% of our children have been able to purchase tobacco nicotine products from a retailer in the city of Aurora is extremely alarming. And I believe that you would all agree with me that this is absolutely unacceptable. Passing this ordinance says that we're putting an appropriate measure to take and hold accountable retailers so that they do not sell tobacco nicotine products nor psychoactive products to our children. Passing this ordinance says we care about reducing access to these products for our children, and that the city of Aurora will be joining 40 other municipalities in Colorado who have already adopted tobacco retail licenses. There is evidence confirming that TRL helps to reduce youth access of these products. Therefore, I ask, how can requiring retailers to obtain a license to sell tobacco nicotine vape products and follow the law be an issue when it helps to protect our children? Because our children truly are our future, and they are depending on us to always have their best interests at heart, we must do all we can, when we can, as their parents, their grandparents, their guardians, teachers, schools, administrators, counselors, public health professionals, medical professionals, and yes, mayor and city council representatives, setting an example to protect them, because it does take a village, and we all have a role to play. Passing the TRL Plus ordinance is an absolute critical step in holding retailers who sell these products accountable, and why I'm asking that you vote yes in support of this ordinance when it does come forth for a vote. I want to thank you this evening for taking the time to hear what I've had to share with you.
James Coleman, followed by Demetrius Johnson.
Good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
It's a tough environment. I can't imagine how that feels. All right, y'all can laugh. It's all right. I'd like to begin by thanking the Aurora City Council and Mayor Kaufman for having me, and to everyone for coming to tonight's council meeting. I'm here today because I work for the people, which means I work for you. The state is perceived to be a higher level of government than local government, and I don't agree with that. I believe the higher up you are in leadership, the greater the servant. My job is to serve you so that you can better serve your city. And I know, Mayor Kaufman, you understand this because you serve both in the House and the Senate, where I serve currently now. We share a common goal. We seek justice that is rooted in equity and humanity for everyone. Though my district consists of Denver and Green Valley Ranch areas, as Colorado Senate President, I have a vested interest in improving the conditions of all districts in our state. We have a painful and storied history when it comes to occurrences of police brutality and mistreatment, and not just in Aurora. And what should be history, our past continues to repeat as our current reality. The tragedies of Colin Lewis, Rajon Belt Stubblefield, Jalen Sebron, and many others have become a call for many community members who are tired of hurting and want to begin healing and realizing actionable change in partnership with our police force. That's the thing about a wake-up call. It demands a response. It forces us to ask ourselves what it actually looks like to move forward from grief to healing to action, and how we center community in our decision-making. We need reform rooted in transparency, accountability, and care, which is why the work being done by the Epitome of Black Excellence and others is extremely meaningful to me. With improved protocols, policies, and processes, we can move forward with trust, integrity, and understanding. There's an opportunity to move from them versus us to a collective we, as one community comprised of many individuals who contribute to the health and well-being of us all. I know I only have 3 minutes, and 3 minutes is not nearly enough to solve all the decades of systemic inequalities and injustices in history, but it's enough time for me to make a commitment, and I'm committed to being more than a witness to the pain. I'm committed to being an active partner in the progress, in part by passing policy in partnership with you all. I will take the stories and passion that's been shared here tonight and carry them with me to inform and equip me in my work at the Capitol. My vision is for everyone in the state of Colorado to have access to opportunity. In order for this to become a reality, we must reform our justice system so that everyone is treated equitably and humanely. We have done good work together before, and I look forward to doing good work on this issue with you all moving forward. Thank you very much.
Demetrius Johnson, followed by KDOT.
Good evening, Mayor Kaufman, Council. My name is Demetrius Radin Johnson, and I'm a financial professional as well as a community advocate. I'm here to report on the $40 million project that is the Aurora Regional Navigation Center. This center has devolved into a state-funded humanitarian crisis of sorts, and I believe that it demands an immediate and independent audit and oversight intervention. The conditions inside this place is a masterclass in administrative incompetence and physical neglect. Guests are being subjected to an unhygienic environment rife with black mold exposure and pestilence. This is no longer a navigation center. It feels like something of a grotesque psychological experiment, kind of a cross between the Stanford prison experiment and the Tuskegee experiment, where vulnerable residents are monitored in their suffering rather than being helped. The financial drain. As a financial professional, I'm looking at the burn rate of city resources. We're seeing 3 to 5 emergency EMT visits per day. And the cost of these ambulances and ER treatments necessitated by the agitation and illness caused by the facility's mismanagement is costing Aurora taxpayers thousands of dollars daily. We're paying for the chaos that the nonprofit that runs this navigation center, Advanced Pathways, and the security company they've contracted with, Dominus Security, are creating. I'm formally calling on the council to do an emergency inspection for sanitary violations, not the least of which would be the inclusion of mold in the facility. Also, to reevaluate the qualifications of Advanced Pathways leadership and the conduct of Dominus Security, specifically regarding the reports of theft and retaliation against guests. An independent audit and accounting for every cent of the $40 million granted to this project, in addition to the ongoing funds that are coming from City Council. The city is subsidizing instability. We need a navigation center that navigates people to housing, not to the hospital. Thank you.
KDOT, followed by David Nails. KDOT, followed by David Nels.
So I guess this is the time I'll be transparent. I'm going to be reading something, a quote somebody said. There is never a justification for missing a meeting unless someone is physically unable to participate. And that man, I guess hell froze over, that I actually agree with, is our Mayor Michael Kaufman. So in serious manner, Mayor, I expect you to hold accountable behind your words, because you're absolutely right. It was not okay for sitting members of City Council to miss a meeting, all for you, for some odd reason. So Stephanie Hancock, I don't know if you had a hair appointment. I don't know where the hell. I don't know why the hell you weren't here. Friends Bergen, I don't know why the hell you weren't here either. That's disappointing, because you're usually here
not back
every
and forth.
Meeting. Who else wasn't here? Curtis Gardner. I heard he had a knee injury or whatever, but so I'll let him slide on that. But I will be pulling reports on the reason why you weren't here, and also Angela Lawson. I'm probably most disappointed in you. Reason being, and don't shake your head like that, I want you to listen, okay? Because I remember when the situation with Elijah McClain, you were out with the people, sitting in the stands when we shut it down. And that was the most thing I respected about you. I need you to find that inner person that was out there with the people, and I need you to bring her back. I need you to find her again. And I'm not saying it as a joke, I'm being quite honest with you. And I'm also disappointed that you lied on me and said that I called you a cunt. I didn't even know what the hell a cunt was. You shut the hell up. Seriously. But I expect to have, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Seriously. So we can bring that back. As far as you being for the people. Regardless, because you said regardless of any type of party that you're with, you're affiliated with the people, and don't forget that.
David Nels.
What the hell are you
Followed by
banging the gavel for? I hope you break it.
David
Seriously.
Nels, followed by Alfredo Corbujal.
Stop being a piece of shit.
Alfredo Corbujal.
Hello, my name is Alfredo Carvajal. I'm a resident of Aurora, Ward 1. I'm here to talk about the deep rot that is APD, the Aurora Police Department, and Todd Chamberlain. We already heard some of the history of Todd's past as a police officer, and so I won't reiterate that. But it's very clear to me that Aurora has this chronic issue of not being able to keep their officers accountable. And I don't think there's any amount of training or reform that's going to correct this because of how deep that rot is year after year, murder after murder that the APD has committed against the community here in Aurora. I think the real solution is getting rid of Todd Chamberlain. I think we should demand a process for selecting the next police chief, fully open, democratic, and firmly controlled by the civilians who live in Aurora, not, whoever the city manager getting to choose or the city council. Because it's clear that this council cannot function and manage this problem. So it should be up to the community to hold these cops accountable and to obtain real justice. And what this looks like is a civilian police accountability council. This will give the community the power to subpoena any officers, to call for a real and independent investigation, not one where police are investigating themselves or the police department that neighbors them. Real accountability, real power to the community. So I would motion that this council should find a way to implement that process, because we should at the very least be able to pick our chief police officer instead of just have it be whoever folks here want to choose. But yeah, I'll see the rest of my time. Thank you.
The last speaker is David Nelson.
Unless there's a David here, it might just be a correction, Paul Nelson. So, otherwise known as Nels. And thank you for the time, Council. I've come to actually speak about a pressing issue. It's lied on the back of the American people for like 6 or 7 generations, and it's the demand to stop police crime. It's as old as the end of the Reconstruction era, and it's continued. It's a heavy weight that people have had to come forward after every time someone's murdered for generations now, and demand that something be done to stop this police crime. We're not asking for some new vehicle by which we can watch this police crime happen and know that it's happening, these oversight committees without any teeth. We're asking for the means by which we can stop this police crime from continuing. We want the problem to stop. We don't want to watch the problem continue. We want the problem to stop. There were comments about crime going down in this city. Is anyone counting the police crime? It wouldn't seem so. Because if there's one type of crime that's increasing in our city, both in frequency and brutality, it is police crime. Most predominantly police crime against black people in this city. And something's got to be done about it. There's been gross violations of the constitutional rights of the people of this city. Gross. The violation of the due process of Corey Dillard, where and when Todd Chamberlain, this clown that needs to be fired, that never should have been backdoored in, Jason, he doesn't belong here. That's right. Todd Chamberlain called Corey Dillard, a man who was defending himself using his Second Amendment rights, he called him a mass shooter. This was a lie. Clear. It's clear now with hindsight. But when the chief of police calls you a mass shooter on the news and calls you all sorts of rotten lies, you've all but had your due process. You've had it just obliterated by those who were actually sworn to try and protect it. So we're talking about violations of the highest law in the land, the Constitution. The due process violation, the Second Amendment violation. The people that are being murdered by the police are being found guilty on the spot with no court. What are you going to do about that? Are we simply going to watch it continue and ask the police what they think we should do about it? Are we going to have their neighboring department investigate their friends so that next time they get investigated, they got a little, I scratch your back, you scratch mine? It's disgusting what's continuing. The city councilors should be here doing their job. I work every fucking day, pardon my French. And if I didn't show up to work, I'd be fired. You ought to fire the people not showing up. You ought to fire Todd Chamberlain because he's not showing up in the way that it counts. You probably should fire Jason too, because there's a good chance that the next appointment for this chief of police will be equally unqualified. He was rejected by 2 other departments before we took him. Why did we take this guy? He's a racist, talking about watermelon slushies and black officers. That's...
Mayor, that was the last speaker.
Motion is in order for the adoption of the agenda.
Mayor, point of privilege.
Councilmember Bergen.
Yes, I just want to address comments made about my attendance, because I've been on council for over 10 years. And I have served on a number of policy committees, 3 policies committees per year. I serve on outside boards. I have rarely missed any meetings, council meetings included, even when I did chemotherapy when I was first elected for 6 months every other week. I did my job. I do my job. I am very serious about doing my job. And if we're going to have to report an absence, and I agree with being respectful, and I probably should have let the mayor know I was not going to be there. I will give you that. I should have done that. But to question my record, I will go against any council member in terms of my record, because I do my job very well, and I have, in 10 years, I could probably count the number of meetings I have missed between all my outside boards, my policy committees, and my council meetings. And by the way, 2 of our council members missed a policy committee, one without notice and one with notice. But I will be keeping track of every single person and every single policy committee as well. So just wanted to make it clear that I do show up, and if I don't show up, it is my personal. It is up to me. If I have a personal reason for not showing up, I don't need to give a personal reason. I will let the mayor know that I'm absent in the future, but I don't need to give a personal reason.
I'd like to say that's bullshit. Can we put that on public?
You were, the council was courteous to you when you were speaking. I would ask you to be courteous to the council.
You want to show up?
Motion is in order for the adoption of the consent calendar.
Mayor, move to adopt the
Consent calendar. No,
consent calendar.
agenda, but not the consent calendar.
Oh, yeah, you had said agenda before, so now we're going to do consent calendar.
Did we?
We already did the agenda, yeah. So we're just 110.
Look, you and your personal issue.
Next question before us is the adoption of the consent calendar on motions, item number 10C1 to 10C2.
Mayor,
Mayor Pro Tem.
move to adopt item 10C1 and 10C2.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by?
Bergen.
Seconded by Councilmember Bergen to adopt the consent calendar, item number 10C1 to 10C2. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the consent calendar on motions.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Andrews. Okay. The motion passes unanimously.
Next question before us is the adoption of the consent calendar on resolutions and ordinances, item number 11A1 to 11B2, and I want to pull item number 11A1.
And Mayor, there is one speaker for item.
Do we do that?
Let's do 11A2. Let's do a motion for 11A2.
Okay, then motion on consent calendar resolutions and ordinances, item number 11A2 to item number 11B2.
Mayor. Sorry.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by seconded by Councilmember Medina. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the consent calendar on resolutions and ordinances, item number 11A2 to 11B2.
Councilmember Lawson. Councilmember Medina.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Clerk, please read the title to,
So now read the title to 11.
Okay, the clerk, please read the title to item number 11A1.
Item 11A1 is Resolution 20-2607, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Aurora, Colorado, naming the ring road around Aurora Municipal Center, Dr. Barbara Shannon Bannister Road.
Does somebody sign up to speak on this?
There is one speaker. Maya Wheeler? Maya Wheeler?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Maya Wheeler. I'm a should I start over? Sorry. I'm a longtime resident of Ward 5, and I'm here in strong support of item 11A.1, the honoring of street naming recognizing Dr. Bannister. I have had the privilege of knowing Dr. Bannister for a long time. I lovingly call her Dr. BSB. And I have witnessed firsthand the depth of her service and the lasting impact she has had on Aurora and the greater Denver metro area. She is a truly dedicated civil servant whose career has been defined by commitment to equity, access, and community well-being. I came to know Dr. Bannister through our work on the Aurora Human Relations Commission, where I served as a commissioner. During that time, she guided us in important work that benefited Aurora residents across the city. On the Aurora Human Relations Commission, Dr. BSB played a key role in strengthening Aurora's civil rights infrastructure, centering the voices of marginalized communities and building trust between residents and local government. Her leadership helped shape a commission focused not just on addressing harm, but on advancing equity, dialogue, and understanding across our city. In 1989, Dr. BSB co-founded the Metro Community Provider Network, now a federally qualified health center that continues to provide critical primary care and health services to the medically underserved residents in Aurora and beyond. That work alone has improved the lives of thousands of families and strengthened our city's public health infrastructure. She is also a fierce and unwavering advocate for civil rights. In 1991, she played a key role in bringing the NAACP to Aurora, helping establish a chapter that gave residents, especially in one of Colorado's most diverse cities, a strong, trusted voice to protect and advance civil rights. Beyond her public service career, Dr. Bannister continues to give back as president and CEO of Grand Design, preserving African American culture through community outreach, music, and the arts. Her leadership has enriched Aurora culturally, civically, and historically. Honoring Dr. Barbara Bannister with a street naming is not only appropriate, it is long overdue. And I respectfully urge council to approve resolution R2026-07. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
That's the last speaker.
Thank you. Well, I move item number 11A1.
Second.
It's been moved by the mayor, seconded by Councilmember Bergen, to move the resolution. I do have one amendment for it, and that in the 7th whereas clause, it says, whereas though collaboration with a Ward 2 City Council member, Dr. Barbara Shannon Bannister helped secure the installation of the only full-size statue of Martin Luther King Jr. in the state of Colorado at the Martin Luther King Jr. Library, creating a lasting public symbol of equity and justice, and that the council, I think I would like to insert the council member's name. It was Council Member Rennie Peterson, and so, let's see, do we have to vote on that as an amendment?
No, it's a friendly amendment.
Okay, very well.
Okay.
Okay. That when I came home from the Marine Corps the first time in 1983, my first thing in American government was to be on I was appointed by the Aurora City Council to be on the Aurora Human Relations Commission, where Barbara Shannon Bannister was the chair. And she was a remarkable leader. And really, I think when we look at our own history as a city, you think about civil rights, you really think about Dr. Barbara Shannon Bannister. And I believe she worked, in addition to all the things she did, like founding the Aurora chapter of the NAACP. She also worked for the city for 38 years. before retiring. And she's on the Civil Service Commission now, and that tomorrow will be her last day on the Civil Service Commission. So tomorrow at noon, the public is invited to the street naming ceremony. And Barbara will be here for that, and something that I think she deserves, and we could all be honored to be present for that. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of 11A1. It is the street naming ceremony tomorrow.
Mayor Kaufman,
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Andrews, the motion passes unanimously.
Oh, yeah.
So, Cecilia, just for the record, technically the mayor can't vote, but we'll make it an honorary vote.
Yes.
There we go. Make or break a tie.
I'll
Okay.
fix that record. Thank
Great.
you.
And this is to name the ring road around the Aurora Municipal Center as Barbara Shannon Baxter.
We need the results. She said the results. Got your name? Okay, sorry, I was there.
Clerk, now please read the title to item number 12A.
Item 12A is ordinance 2026-03 is a public hearing and consideration of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Aurora, Colorado, amending sections 146-41013 and 146-62S and repealing section 146-41016 of the Unified Development Ordinance pertaining to signs.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Brandon Camerata, current planning manager. There's the presentation. Thank you. All right. Tonight we have a public hearing for the City Council to consider a zoning code amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance regarding the sign code, to repeal the city property sign allowance. This proposal is sponsored by Mayor Kaufman and Mayor Pro Tem Coombs. This allowance for the city property signs was adopted about a year ago. This is an allowance above and beyond the general sign allowance across the city. This allowance is for large electronic signs for off-premise advertising. And this allowance is only permitted on city-owned property. Over the course of the last year, or as of right now, I should say, we have no applications for these signs that have been approved or constructed, and there are no applications in progress. As I mentioned, this is for city property, regardless of zoning. And as I stated before, this allowance that we're proposing to repeal is in addition to the general sign allowance. So with the repeal of the city property sign allowance, city properties would then be using the general sign allowance, which is used by private businesses and has always been used by the city in general for advertising what's going on the premises. For a UDO code amendment, we do have criteria that are identified in the code. Staff findings are that this proposal is consistent with the comprehensive plan and will not be adverse to the public health, safety, and welfare. And also, the Planning Commission had a public hearing on January 28th and recommended unanimously approval of the ordinance. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mayor.
City Attorney.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Council, so not to get into the details of where this came from, but a year or two ago, under the previous council, there was a a proposal that came forward to allow city-owned billboards and for kind of a money-making aspect for the city, and we had to change the code to allow for that. As my fellow colleagues have already stated, the individual company, I'm not going to name them, but they are no longer interested. And the reason this is coming forward is we're going to try to put the code back to where it was before that took place. So would then eliminate big billboards and other signs in the city, which is consistent with their comprehensive plan as listed in the legal standard that was shown on the screen.
Okay, questions of staff? Seeing none, the public hearing is, does anybody wish to speak on this issue?
No, sir.
Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed, and a motion is in order.
Mayor, so moved.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by?
Bergen.
Seconded by Councilmember Bergen. Discussion?
Mayor Gardner.
Councilmember Gardner.
Yeah, I think this is really crappy, what we're doing to this business. You know, we approved this, I think about 18 months ago, 12 to 18 months ago, and they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars preparing to install these signs in the city, only for us to now go back and not allow it. And it's not true. When the statement was made that they are no longer interested, they're no longer interested because our staff has made it incredibly challenging because they never wanted this to happen in the first place. And, you know, whether or not you agree with the results of that vote, the fact of the matter is it was duly voted on by this council. It got at least 6 votes. And this is really crappy to do to a business after the fact. So I'm certainly going to be a no vote.
Further discussion?
Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, so the instance in order was the result of an unsolicited proposal that had previously been rejected by council multiple times and was then pushed forward by a council member and pushed, even though the multiple other times that it had come forward, it had been rejected. And this code change occurred as basically a cleanup to enable that unsolicited proposal to go forward, that, again, was in violation of our comprehensive plan, which specifically indicated an intent that had been stated multiple times of people in our community as well as city councils of varying political ideologies to not have billboards, digital or otherwise, up throughout our city. And so I am glad that we are repealing this and hope that my colleagues will remain committed to not putting into the public something that we have actually been asked to not have, which is billboards, digital or otherwise, up in our city.
And it was also in violation of our contracting rules. Further discussion?
Mayor Gardner.
Councilmember Gardner.
Yeah, question for staff, because the pejorative term billboards keeps getting used. At the City of Aurora Sports Park, do we have a digital sign that includes advertising for the University of Colorado Hospital that's located in Aurora and we receive revenue for?
We do. Yeah, this is City Manager Jason Batchelor, council member. Yes, we do have a small electronic sign that has the symbol of, I believe it's currently CU Anschutz up for that, and that was approved through a variance to the planning code that was taken to council and done for public approval.
Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of item number 12A.
Councilmember Andrews? Councilmember, okay. The motion passes with 2 no votes from Councilmember Gardner and Councilmember Hancock.
Good. Would the clerk now please read the title to item number 17A?
Item 17A is consideration to appoint 1 member to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
The motion is in order.
So, Mayor, we can do this with a single nomination or multiple nominations, but we'll start with whatever council member wants to make that first nomination.
Mayor,
Councilmember Morgan.
I would like to nominate Stephen Elkins to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
It's been moved by Councilmember Morgan and seconded by Councilmember Hancock to nominate Stephen Elkins to the Planning Commission. Discussion?
Well, see if there's any further nominations, Mayor, and then we can close nominations.
Or do we just vote on this first?
I did a nomination.
Nominate, not appoint, so he's right. Typically go through.
So we go through all the nominations, and then we would close nominations, and then vote on each
Very well.
person.
Further nominations? Seeing none, I'm sorry. Councilmember Wiles.
I nominate Robin, and I don't have her name in front of me right this second, but.
Becker.
What?
Robin.
Becker.
Robin Becker.
I second that.
Okay.
Does need it.
It's been, I'm sorry. Moved by Councilmember Wiles, second by Councilmember Horton on Robin Becker. No, what?
Any further nominations?
Further nominations? We're seeing none.
Nominations are closed. Okay.
So how do you?
So nominations are closed, is the first, and then now you would debate on either one, and then you'll call the first one, which will be Mr. Elkins, for a
Okay.
vote, and then if that doesn't pass, you call.
Further discussion?
Mayor.
Councilmember Morgan.
Yeah, I nominated Stephen Elkins just because he has a planning background, and I wasn't here for the study session, but I went back and watched the study session and watched all 3 interviews. He demonstrated knowledge of the planning process. He was very articulate in his answers to the questions that were asked, and I think he would make a really great planning commissioner. It takes a lot of time to be on the planning commission, so I just knowing that it's a really important role, and it's someone needs to be very dedicated to doing that role as they make decisions for land use policy or land use decisions moving forward. And so I think really based on his background and his expertise and his interview, that he would be a really good candidate.
Further discussion? Councilmember Hancock.
Mayor, I would not belabor this, but I concur with Councilmember Francois Bergen with regards to Stephen Elkins. I was at the interview, and he was the most articulate, knowledgeable, thoughtful, and he answered the questions with the most clarity and consistency. And I think with all of those things that Councilmember Bergen says, the laborious nature of this position and the importance of it, I think he would be the best candidate and the most qualified.
Further discussion? Seeing none.
Mayor, sorry.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Being slow. Yeah, and I'll just say that I appreciated that Ms. Becker had as well a planning background and brought some perspectives from outside of our metro area. And I do think she actually was also very thoughtful and articulate. Not to say that Mr. Elkins was not, but I think that she also provided thoughtful, articulate, and consistent answers to our questions.
Mayor
Sorry.
Jackson.
Councilmember, I'm sorry.
Jackson.
Over here.
Councilmember Jackson, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I also wanted to just bring forward Robin's strengths in affordable housing. I think with planning and zoning, that is a huge area that we need experts in for Aurora specifically. Robin was able to talk about workforce housing, ADUs, and named some of the opportunities in affordable housing for the city of Aurora, and has experience and background in city planning, which I think would be very applicable to this role.
Okay. Further discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember Horton.
ditto to around Robin Becker in terms of the interview she gave at our last session. I do want to thank all 3 of the individuals who came and interviewed. I thought they were all very strong candidates in their own ways. I do think Robin Becker stood out the most.
Further discussion? Seeing none, then call for the question on Stephen Elkins.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Andrews. The motion does not pass with 6 no votes from Councilmember Andrews, Councilmember Coombs, Councilmember Horton, Councilmember Jackson, Councilmember Medina, and Councilmember Wiles.
Call for the question on Robin Becker.
Mayor Kaufman.
Your vote.
Mayor votes yes.
Okay, the motion passes with 2 no votes from Councilmember Bergen and Councilmember Hancock.
And now, Mayor, we just need a motion to appoint her to the Planning Commission.
Motion is in order to appoint.
I move to appoint her.
Moved by Councilmember Wiles, second by Mayor Pro Tem. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the appointment of Robin Becker to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Jackson. Okay, the motion passes with 1 no vote from Councilmember Hancock.
Clerk, now please read the title to item number 17B.
17B is the determination of candidates to be interviewed for the Civil Service Commission vacancy.
Motion is in order.
Mayor Gardner,
Councilmember Gardner.
I propose that we interview the top 4 candidates. I typically would say 3, but the 3rd and 4th tied in their rankings, so I propose interviewing the 4 candidates in their rankings.
It's been moved by Councilmember Gardner, seconded by?
Coombs.
Seconded by Councilmember Hancock to interview the top 4 candidates in the ranking. Discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on 17B.
Mayor Kaufman.
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Jackson. Yes. Okay, the motion passes unanimously.
Reports.
Mayor, can I?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, a point of privilege.
Councilmember Bergen.
Just something for council to consider. A lot of times, things get political in these appointments, and they shouldn't be. Should be on the best person for the position. Moving forward, is it possible to redact the name of the person so we see why they're applying, their experience, but not have their name? I think that would be a more fair system.
Councilmember Bergen, that would be a subject for the Rules Committee. Public invited to be heard? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Reports first. Councilmember Andrews, a report?
No report, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Coombs.
Thank you, Mayor. So first, I just want to thank folks for coming to the at-large town hall regarding AI and surveillance. I particularly appreciate the community questions, which really brought up concerns about the impact of surveillance in general, some of the discomforts that people have with that, as well as concerns about data sharing and the impacts on our community of any data sharing that may take place. Speaking of the Rules Committee, we'll begin scheduling those meetings. So the members of that committee as it stands are myself, Councilmember Jackson, Councilmember Medina, and the mayor. I want to thank my colleagues for a productive workshop and particularly appreciate the staff, especially Jesse Byrne, who helped council to facilitate some conversations between us, as well as Laura Perry, who provided support for a large amount of the discussion topics that we had in the meeting. And then also wanted to thank Councilmember Jackson, who contributed very thoughtfully to the preparation on the group norms discussion that I think was certainly needed and hopefully will help us as we move forward. And finally, wanted to express the honor that I had, although it did take me briefly away from the workshop, in attending and presenting a city proclamation at the Grita tu Identidad Mental Health Conference, which was the first statewide mental health conference regarding culturally competent mental health care and collaboration among community healthcare providers and mental health care providers. And look forward to continued productive engagement on addressing specifically the needs of all of our communities in meaningfully accessing mental health care.
Councilmember Gardner?
No report.
Councilmember Jackson?
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple updates. I've been pretty busy in my new role. I met with various community stakeholders. Some that stood out was David Gold and Seth Rowland. Check out democracism.org and the Restore the Constitution Act to learn more. We hosted a at-large town hall. It was my first town hall as a city council member on AI and surveillance. So thank you to Aurora Police Department that was there presenting, and to the ACLU that presented, and most importantly to our community members who showed up and spoke their voice into that space. I also met with Jessica Meza and Lily V, who are part of Meza and Associates, 2 lawyers, and they were able to talk a lot about recidivism rates and what is statistically proven to reduce recidivism rates, and the fact that incarceration is not one of those things that reduces recidivism rates. So please stay tuned. I'd love to have them present to the community. I attended the Montview Elementary's community dinner for the month of February, which was around Black History Month, and that was really nice. I took my little one to that. They had African drumming and a meal, and Montview Elementary does community meals every month, so if you're interested in that and in the area, check them out. I did tour the Navigation Center. I sit as the chair of the Horns Committee, which deals with housing. And I did see some improvements at the Regional Navigation Center. There are now cubicles up for those community partners to meet with the residents in the Navigation Center. I also was able to attend the Heart Court program, which was really interesting, and it was very compassionate. And what the Heart program is if individuals get cited with trespassing tickets, they can opt to take place in this solutions-based court, and they meet at the Navigation Center with a judge and a resource specialist, and they fill out a bingo card with all their goals, and they get incentivized through gift cards, and it's a pretty successful, humanized process. So if you know anybody who has trespassing citations within the city of Aurora, please have them check out the Heart Court program. And then I attended the Be Well Annual Awards. That was a great time and a great community partner that we should continue to work with. And lastly, I'm working on a special project for immigrant and refugee integration plan with Mayor Kaufman, and I'm excited to just put Aurora on the map, continue to put Aurora on the map when it comes to how we integrate our refugees and immigrants into our community. And lastly, I did just want to do a shout out for Black History Month, and I just do want to say that Black Americans built this country for free and are owed a lot and are struggling, and I take it very serious for this community, especially within the city of Aurora, to provide them resources and honor their voices when they come to use the systems in which that they built. So with that, I yield. Thank you.
Councilmember Horton?
Alrighty, so few things that I've been up to. Well, I got sick for about a week, so I was not as busy as I normally have been. So make sure everyone to, hand sanitize. But in the meantime, there was an oversight roundtable discussion. I was unable to attend, but I heard overall it went very well. And one of the most resounding feedback that at least I heard, through the grapevine, was the continued need for transparency and making sure that there's continuous community engagement when it comes to building out independent civilian oversight here in our city. The other piece to that is we heard from folks that we need to make sure that we're not only having those conversations in the Ward 1, Ward 3 area, but making sure that we are reaching down south. So more to come in terms of making sure we're engaging diverse voices and communities in that input. Also attended the Be Well Awards and Community Celebration. Really appreciated the opportunity to enjoy good music and be intentionally in a community that's fighting for health equity and a variety of different spots in the metro area. Upcoming that I do want to highlight is that continuing conversation around oversight, independent oversight. We're going to have the independent monitor from Fort Worth here in our city. That we got that rescheduled, so that will be taking place February 24th. More information to come at the next city council meeting. Another piece is there is an open house on the bus rapid transit that's going to start building out in Ward 1 along Colfax corridor. So an open house is taking place this Wednesday, February 11th. Another piece that Councilmember Jackson and I have the honor to organize with staff around is the conversation for the Community Development Corporation. So if you all recall, with the passing of the Downtown Development Authority, the contractor, Puma, also recommended a CDC to make sure that not only are we focused within the boundary of the DDA, but also the blocks in the neighborhood that will be impacted as that continues to be developed. So there's an intentional public meeting, mostly going to center around engaging our nonprofits who serve Northwest Aurora, but it's open to the public. It's going to be this Thursday, February 12th at 1 p.m. And it's going to be at the ABC Community Hub. It was previously the Paris Elementary School building. And lastly, Build Up Aurora. And so I have a lovely flyer that I got in our mailboxes. There are several dates here for folks to really engage in creating a priority list on infrastructure. We are a growing city. We need to make sure that we are talking about, how we're going to grow, how we're going to be very intentional. So, I have a few flyers with me for those in the crowd who would like one to know where you can plug in and engage. But I do encourage folks to be able to show up, make sure your voice is heard, and you can advocate for your neighborhood and your communities. So, and very lastly, thank you, Councilmember Jackson, around honoring Black History Month. I also want to say Happy Lunar New Year. Thank you.
Councilmember Wiles.
Thanks, Mayor. First of all, our first Ward 2 meeting will be on February 26th at the Central Rec Center. So excited to see everybody out at that one. This last week, I attended the Food Bank of the Rockies opening. That allows, it's a beautiful facility, first of all, but it most importantly allows for us to really serve the community in a more proactive and thoughtful way. There are lots of volunteer opportunities, so if anybody has time and would like to help out the community, they're always looking for volunteers. And then interesting fact that I did not know about the food bank was that they also support the Wind River Reservation for food. So, and that is home to the Eastern Shoshone and Northern Arapaho tribes. So they get elder boxes delivered to them, and so I'm sure they're always looking for volunteers again and donations, so please get involved with your community. It's super important. On that same vein, we also have lots of commissions and boards that need people to serve on them. So my favorite, the Human Relations Commission, of course you should just apply for that one first, but there's also a lot of really amazing commissions out there that honor our immigrants and refugees, all kinds of things that you're interested in, so make sure you're volunteering. I also want to say thank you to the Vista Peak Steppers. I missed them at the last meeting. I miss calling them out, but they performed at the Faith Breakfast for Martin Luther King celebration, and they did an amazing job. They're also Ward 2, so go Ward 2. And then I'm going to echo what Janina said about Build Up Aurora. Ward 2 people, this is key for us. We have lots of infrastructure needs, and you won't get what you don't ask for. So even if you can't attend a meeting, please fill out the form online. We're the best ward, we're the biggest ward, and we need the most support. So make sure you have our voices heard.
Can you read this?
What?
Read it.
It says, come weigh in, phone a friend, text a bro, bring your squad. That's what the flyer says. So let's do all of those to make sure we get our voices heard. And hope to see you at the next police oversight meeting when we get to hear from the monitor in Fort Worth. Thank you.
Councilmember Medina.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I attended the at-large town hall because it was in Ward 3. It was the first one held in Ward 3 in 4 years since I've been on. So I was glad to see them come out, as well as my town hall will be there tomorrow at the Active Adult Center, 6:30 to 8, we'll be talking about public safety in Ward 3 and the improvement grants program for communities. Also with Be Well, I'm a project manager. That's my day job. So we do an annual celebration every year for our block captains, which we do in a geographic area. So we call it our Be Well Zone, which includes Park Hill, North Park Hill, East Montclair on the Denver side of Colfax, Northwest Aurora, and Montbello. And I do community engagement in all those communities, getting people together to celebrate with our block captains. It's all led by community. It was all community members that were invited. It's all a free event. We provide them dinner and entertainment, and we honor all those people in community so they can see each other in a celebration that they don't pay for. So we provide all of that. So thank you.
Councilmember Hancock.
Thanks, Mayor. I recently attended a press conference where Governor Jared Polis announced that Colorado is the first democratically led state in the nation to opt into a new federal tax credit program. This matters because it empowers families and strengthens our workforce. This program is pretty straightforward. It provides taxpayers the opportunity to donate $1,700 to qualified educational nonprofits and receive a dollar-for-dollar federal tax credit. These privately funded donations support K through 12 students through scholarships, tutoring, after-school programs, special education services, and other educational support. This is not public spending. No state dollars or federal education funds are being used. If you know a student that can benefit by this, or if you're a parent, grandparent, business owner interested in contributing, you can learn more at the Foundation for Invested Education.org. It's also available on my in my newsletter. Ward 4, our pool is just about finished. They did a major restoration plan with the piping. As you know, Utah Park Pool is 50 years old, and so PROS has repiped the entire pool. So we expect it to be open around the 1st of May. Yay. In March, in my next town hall, we will be having a networking half hour from 6 to 6:30. So if you are a business owner in Aurora, we invite you to come to exchange with other entrepreneurs so they can meet you, you can meet them, and maybe you can exchange some business opportunities. One of the boards and commissions that is looking for members is the Aurora Library Advisory Board. They're hoping to add new members to bring experience in fundraising and development. Strong board capacity is essential as they continue to support the Aurora Library system through community engagement. I have a mini town hall at Bella Vita Senior Living this week on Thursday, and I meet with those residents. They're a pretty hearty group of people, so I'm looking forward to meeting with them. Finally, I wanted to appoint Nino Pepper to the CABC. He will be replacing Sandy Garcia, who faithfully served her time on the council or on the CABC for the past 2 years. Thank you, Sandy Garcia, for your support and for your service to your community. And that is my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Lawson?
Thank you, Mayor. So tomorrow is my first town hall of the year. It's at Mission Viejo Library. It'll be at 6:30 to 8, and then I'm going to have my other one at Heather Garten's, and that's on the 21st, and that's from 10 to 12. Well, we usually go longer than that, but 10 to about 12:30, and I'll start doing those every two a month. Until November. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with all of my constituents in Ward 5, although I have been connected with many of you during the time that we were out. I do want to give some good news, especially when we're talking about Congress. The city of Aurora, we get congressionally directed spending. And essentially all of our projects, and I'm going to name all of them, have been funded by the federal government. And I'm going to start with the first one, Aurora Fire Rescue Fire Apparatus Project. We're getting a new ladder truck. The amount for this was $850,000. Fire flashover simulator acquisition. The amount included in that was $250,000. The Havana Street Corridor Multimodal Improvement Project, the amount that we're going to get for that is $850,000. Box Elder Creek Roadway Improvement Project, the amount included is $500,000. The Montview Boulevard Complete Streets Project, the amount included $250,000. We have, over the years, and I've been on council for 10 years, have advocated for many of these. I know Havana, Box Elder, and Montview. And to be able to get this funding and to get our congressionally directed spending request approved, especially 5, I just think that's amazing. Thank you to city staff. I want to thank our leaders up in Congress. That would be Congressman Crow, Senator Hickenlooper, and Senator Bennett. And I think it was also Gabe Evans also, Senator Evans, that also helped us with these. So in this particular case, I mean, we got the grants and we need all the money we can get, and to have these 5 projects approved, I think that's just wonderful and a success. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Bergen.
Thank you, Mayor. So I attended the Aurora Economic Development Council executive meeting. That was the first one for this year. And then also, of course, we had our Planning and Economic Development Policy Committee meeting. Also attended the Visit Aurora annual meeting that was held a week ago, and that was really very well done. We appreciated all the work that they're doing. I also was able to watch a retail trends webinar, very interesting, learning about what's happening in the retail world that affects our municipalities. Of course, winter workshop. And then just moving forward, we're actually making progress on the retail strategy stakeholder meetings. So we have actually a good amount of people that are experts that are going to be in attendance. So really happy about that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor.
I'll be having a town meeting.
Go ahead.
Mayor Pro Tem, have you gone?
Yeah,
I forgot something, but I'll go ahead.
Just wanted to remind folks that the On Havana Street Lunar New Year celebration is this upcoming Sunday, I believe from noon to 6, and I had forgotten to include that in my report.
Good point. I'll be holding a town meeting on Saturday at the Central Library from 2 to 3:30, and we'll be discussing technologies in terms of crime fighting, whether it's facial recognition, drones, flock cameras, and I'll be giving an update on the ARNC, Aurora Regional Navigation Center. Public invited to be heard.
Yes. First, we have Anna Harris, followed by Ayante Anderson. Ayante Anderson.
If I hate black folks was a city council, it would be you people. The fact that you all spent more time today mentioning the name of Stephen Elkins than any of you all did Black History Month is absolutely insane. The fact that there was no proclamation brought forward by this council honoring the achievements of Black Aurorans is insane. The fact that we have had dozens of individuals that have come out of this city and the greater metro area that have made history both locally and nationally, and you all as a council did not say anything officially is insane. I am grateful that Councilmember Jackson and Councilmember Horton eventually mentioned Black History Month in their closing remarks, but as a council, there should have been official action taken today, honoring the achievements of your city, of the residents of your city. Hell, you have 4 Black city council members. Is there any other city in the state of Colorado that has 4 Black city council members? but 3 out of 4 of the Black City Council members were silent during Black History Month, that is insane. Your ancestors would be so ashamed of you that they fought for your right to be on this dais and for you not to even utter the words, Happy Black History Month, for you not to even be fighting or putting a resolution forward honoring the Black Aurorans that have fought to ensure that you could sit in those seats right here. Our ancestors would be ashamed of each of you. So I look forward to the next meeting when there will be a proclamation honoring Black History Month and the contributions of Black Aurorans and Black Coloradans, because we are not a monolith. You have great individuals in this city that you should be honoring by name. You have the grandson of one of the individuals who was the first Black woman to sit on this city council in this chamber, and her name was not even mentioned by any of you all. That is insane. I'm disappointed. Not in the folks that are not Black on this council. I didn't expect you to say Happy Black History Month. But the 3 out of 4 of you that did absolutely nothing, shame on you. Our ancestors would be disappointed in your leadership.
Hashim Coates, followed by Median Schaffner.
The fragility of council members is amazing and it's disgusting. Leadership is hard. You all know that. For those of you that take the blows and keep going with it, I salute you. I have thrown some of those blows, and some of you take it and you run with it, and that's what leadership is. Also, I just want to bring up the police chief situation again. There is a pattern of harm. He has to go. And that's in my humble opinion. It started off as a closed process where there was no community input on that. That was the route that was planted horribly. The recruitment efforts that were done at what I would call the white nationalist event was the Trump rallies, where we see what's come out of there and how that has spewed over into the ICE and that harm that's causing communities. The use of city-owned social media platforms to discuss personal political views against council decisions, misuse of city resources, that's another violation on that. And the leaking of arrest reports and body cam footage is also very concerning, especially while he is sitting there refusing to comply with a court order to release body cam footage. I'm baffled at how he's playing in you all's faces. I'm disgusted at the lack of respect that he has for you all, and I'm almost embarrassed. Also, I'd like to mention that I've noticed that the name of Global Fest has gone, and is now Aurora Fest. Considering how the old council and some of the members on here feel towards immigrants, I kind of support that. You don't deserve to have the dignity of recognizing or using the name global when it's a homogenized environment that you all are actually looking forward to do. And I also want to encourage, in honor of Black History Month, let's support a black author who is a New York Times bestselling author twice. Author Clay Kane wrote a book called The Grift, The Downward Spiral of Black Republicans from the Party of Lincoln to the Cult of Trump. I think that is an important book to read, to give some historical reference, and how some of you all are working with some of your colleagues to understand where they're coming from on that. Also, you heard people say that some people's ancestors would be ashamed. I'm here to push back on that. Some people's ancestors would be proud because there were people who told that Harriet was coming. There were people who ratted out Nat Turner. That's been in our culture for a long time, and I think that those people come from those descendants of those type of people. Also, I encourage people to participate in caucus that's coming up. So thank you.
Median Schaffner, followed by Veronica Sebron.
So the framework of the advocacy that we do, we follow the lead of the families that we serve and that we walk alongside consistently. And we know and acknowledge that that is sacred space that we are being invited into. Just recently, when these families came together, because we have created community around their pain, when these families came together, it was beautiful to watch as they spoke into the fact that they recognize solidarity and the need for intersectionality in this moment. The pain that these families feel is not new, and that's why this intersectionality is an emergency. These families have decided that they want to stand in solidarity with what is happening with ICE around this country, because they know and they understand that the pain that these families that have been impacted by ICE are feeling is not something that is foreign to our community. And so you all filled this room, or the community filled this room, to give commentary when you did the ICE resolution. We know that a resolution is not enough. A resolution is not an ordinance. A resolution is a position that you take. It's not enforceable. It's catalytic because your police chief decided to take to social media to talk about his disdain. But it's not something that you can empower through enforcement. So I stand here in the names of Jalen Sebron, Kylan Lewis, Joseph Jones, Rashad Johnson, Corey Dillard, and every family that we are partnering with to let you know that these families, along with our advocacy, is demanding that you do more. That resolution is not enough. ICE coming with masks escalates every situation. And historically, we know what masks mean when you are attacking a community of culture. They're just not as pointy as they used to be. But it's problematic as hell, and we will not stand for it. So we stand in solidarity with those families. I am also going to speak into acknowledgement that has been missed. Ayante advised that you have done nothing as a council to acknowledge Black History Month. I hope you understand that there would be no lights in this building if it wasn't for Black history. There would be no computer in front of you if there was no Black history. There would be no internet that you can live through virtually, Curtis Gardner, if there was no Black history. I would not be able to speak to you from a microphone if there was no Black history, and that is just to name a few. So you don't get to rationalize your way out of forgetting about our history. Councilwoman Jackson, I appreciate you mentioning Black history exclusively, because we don't always have to be partnered with something else. And so I too look forward to that resolution at the next meeting, and I expect it coming from every one of you, Black, white, and everybody.
Veronica Sebron, followed by Ellen Wu.
I come and I stand before you guys again. This is not my county, but I will stand with the families that cannot stand here. I will stand in every county, as every county is us, we the people, the public. Police oversight, public safety, and Black history has never been intertwined. It has never went together. Today is the day that you guys can let that be changed. I stand for families such as Kylan Lewis, as his mother, LaRonda, cannot be here. I stand for families such as Ryan Stubblefield, as his families cannot be here. I stand for my son, Jalen Sebron, and those children and those fathers who have been laid in the ground. So I will stand for them. And in this moment like these, our families have to stand in solidarity. Solidarity that stretches across generations, those who are here and those who have passed, but remain present in every breath that we take. Their love is gone, but it shall live within us, because their love will stand within us. Their human and earthly body may have been taken, but their legacy shall continue. We will honor them by demanding accountability. We will honor them by insisting on safety, not as a privilege, but as a right. When a family has endured loss, especially loss that should never have happened, the call for safety becomes more than a request. It becomes a responsibility. It becomes a promise we make to those who came before us and those who will come after. And we affirm something deeper still, that all lives in every county, every community are bound together as one. What harms one family harms us all. What protects one child protects us all. Our unity is not limited by borders or lines on maps. It is shared by humanity that demands justice, compassion, and accountability everywhere. We also stand firm in this truth we should not be taken from, threatened in, or afraid to live in our own communities. Every person deserves to walk in their streets without fear, to raise their children without danger, to exist without being treated as an expendable. Safety is not a privilege for the few, it is a right for all. Our unity is our strength, our accountability is our compass, and our commitment to safety is the legacy that we build in their name. I will continue to come to you to make sure I put this in your heads so you don't have to have this pain seared in your hearts.
And the last speaker is Ellen Wu.
I'm here to speak to you regarding the post from Councilmember Jackson. This post detailed her ride along with the City of Aurora Housing and Community Services Department. In the post, she tells of the outreach services being provided by staff that were professional, compassionate, caring, and the trust by the clients. She describes the arrival of the Aurora Police Department at the location. She describes the interactions between the police and the individuals and how the individuals were treated by the police. In reading and hearing the descriptions, I am thinking if the Oversight Board was in existence today, these actions by the police may have been triggers for a complaint investigation. As of today, I'm hoping that the police staff that acted in the manners that show no compassion, no regard for humans as humans, no dignity, are held accountable with an investigation, that the outcomes of the investigation be made public with transparency. How can there be an ongoing ask of the community to building trust or even trust if actions such as what happened occur? There was a time in the past, at least that is what it appeared to be, that the police and the Housing and Community Services Department worked together. But I guess that too was just a facade by the police. I'm guessing that despite the consent decree, the training elements that are part of the consent decree have been merely just check off the item in order to green Harvey Ball that item. This is a call for a change in the culture and attitude. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, respect, and compassion. Some people continue to thrive on spinning the false narratives. You are enablers of the vile, disgusting, racist narratives. You are living in a snow globe filled with cocaine. You fail to see your own lies and downfalls. Some think that the false narratives give you power. These only show the cowardice and the lack of integrity. And in the past, I have been at events where there has been just untold bad behavior by electeds. That is not appropriate.
Mayor, that was the last speaker.
Seeing no further business before the Aurora City Council, this meeting is adjourned.